Don't just stand there, jump in. Before we dive into this thrilling tale of unexpected heroism and a past that refuses to stay buried, consider subscribing or liking this video to follow every twist and turn. The opulent gala shimmered under the coastal city's moonlit sky, but inside, a different kind of light fractured the composure of the elite. Don't just stand there. Help him. Chloe Miller's voice, sharp with urgency, tore through the murmurs of the stunned crowd. Her pristine uniform, moments ago a symbol of her anonymity, was now plastered to her body, dripping pool water onto the polished travertine. In her arms, the man coughed violently, his eyes wide with a terror that transcended his millionaire status. Alex Vance, 35, the celebrated wunderkind of adaptive technology, was drowning. His company, Ascent Innovations, had revolutionized mobility after a devastating sailing accident 3 years prior left him reliant on a sleek carbon fiber cane. Once known for conquering the world's most treacherous seas, he was now adrift in his own infinity pool, his cane floating uselessly nearby. "My legs. I can't," he choked out, his panic palpable. "I've got you," Chloe assured him, her voice a calm anchor in the chaos. With a powerful, fluid motion, she executed a flawless rescue stroke towards the shallow end, the sheer strength in her movements belying her delicate frame. "Just breathe." Not one of the dozens of elegantly dressed guests, sipping cocktails from crystal flutes, had moved a muscle. They merely gawked, their faces frozen in a tableau of shock, concern, and perhaps a touch of morbid curiosity. Only Chloe, the server they'd barely noticed all evening, had reacted. She was just another face among the catering staff at Alex's charity gala, silently navigating the glittering ballroom of his sprawling coastal villa. The mansion, with its panoramic ocean views, had intimidated her since her arrival for this high-paying, yet overwhelming, first catering gig. "Someone call an ambulance," Chloe shouted again, her muscles burning as she finally reached the pool steps, helping Alex to a seated position. Water streamed from his tailored suit as he continued to gasp for air. It was a moment of sheer instinct, a split-second decision that had irrevocably altered the trajectory of her anonymous life. Do you ever wonder what drives someone to act when everyone else freezes? That burning question often defines the truly exceptional. If this story has already piqued your interest, please hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, the spell broke. Phones emerged, not for emergency calls, but to capture the unfolding drama. A tall, impeccably dressed woman pushed through the throng, her face a mask of horror. "Alex! Oh my God, Alex! I'm okay, mother!" Alex managed to utter between coughs, his eyes, for the first time, truly meeting Chloe's. Something unreadable, a flicker of raw recognition, passed between them. "Chloe," she offered quietly. Chloe Miller. 30 minutes earlier, she'd noticed him, not just as her employer or for his disability, but for his eyes. While he smiled and shook hands, his gaze remained distant, as if observing a performance. She'd been replenishing champagne glasses near the pool when she saw him slip away from the crowd, moving slowly towards the water's edge. A flicker of loss, a profound longing in his expression, struck her. She knew that look. And then it happened, his cane hit a wet patch. She saw the precise moment he lost balance, arms flailing, before he plunged into the deep end. Now, as paramedics took over and Alex's mother, Mrs. Albright, hovered nearby, barking orders at staff, she cast suspicious glances at Chloe. "You're bleeding?" Alex murmured, nodding to her arm where she'd scraped it on the pool edge. "It's nothing," Chloe replied, suddenly acutely aware of her soaked appearance. Mascara likely streaked her face, her white blouse transparent. A staff member offered a towel, which she accepted gratefully. "You're quite the swimmer," Alex remarked, studying her with an unnerving new intensity as paramedics checked his vitals. Before Chloe could respond, another woman, champagne glass miraculously intact, pushed through the dispersing crowd. She stared at Chloe with dawning recognition. "Wait a minute, you're Chloe Miller." The woman approached, her designer heels clicking on the wet stone. You were heading to the Olympic trials before you disappeared from the circuit. Chloe froze. The air left her lungs. Exposed. She felt exposed in a way that had nothing to do with her soaking clothes. You must be mistaking me for someone else. No, I never forget a swimmer. I'm Coach Davies from the national team. You had the best butterfly technique I'd ever seen. Chloe felt Alex's gaze intensify, a burning curiosity in his eyes. She backed away. Excuse me, I need to change. Wait, Alex called out. But Chloe was already retreating, leaving a trail of pool water and a dozen unanswered questions in her wake. In the cramped staff bathroom of the lavish villa, Chloe stripped off her soaked uniform, her hands trembling. 3 years. 3 years she'd fought to bury that life, to shed the identity of the girl poised for Olympic glory. And in one impulsive, heroic plunge, she'd exposed herself. She barely recognized the woman staring back from the mirror, mascara streaking her face, a ghostly reflection of a past she thought was long gone. Her phone buzzed, a text from her sister, Lily. How's the fancy party? Make enough tips to cover rent. Chloe sighed, typing back, complicated. Tell you later. Emerging in borrowed, ill-fitting dry clothes, Chloe found the catering manager waiting, his face a tight mask. Mrs. Albright would like to see you, he said stiffly. Alex's mother, Mrs. Albright, waited in a wood-paneled study, her silver hair immaculate despite the evening's chaos. She didn't invite Chloe to sit. I want to thank you for your quick action tonight, she began, her voice crisp as a freshly ironed banknote. My son might have drowned. Anyone would have done the same, Chloe replied, her spine stiffening. Mrs. Albright's perfectly lined lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. But they didn't, did they? Only you. She opened a drawer, withdrawing a checkbook. Alex leads a complicated life. His condition makes him vulnerable in many ways. Chloe felt a surge of defiance. He seems quite capable to me. Mrs. Albright's pen paused mid-signature. Yes, well, appearances can be deceiving, as we've learned about you tonight, Ms. Miller. The check she slid across the desk made Chloe's eyes widen. More money than she'd make in 6 months. For your heroism, Mrs. Albright explained, her gaze chillingly direct. And your discretion. My son doesn't need the distraction of. She waved a hand vaguely. Whatever this might become. Chloe didn't touch the check. I don't want your money, Mrs. Albright. Everyone wants money, dear. Especially those who claim they don't. Her smile remained fixed. I understand you work multiple jobs. Surely your sister's education is expensive. The mention of Lily made Chloe's blood run cold. How much did this woman know about her? The party's over, Ms. Miller. My son is safe thanks to you. Let's leave it at that, shall we? Before Chloe could respond, the catering manager appeared at the door. Ms. Miller, we need to finish cleanup and go. Outside, as staff loaded vans, Chloe overheard her manager on the phone. Yes, Mr. Henderson. I understand she caused a scene. No, of course she won't be working with us again. Chloe clutched her purse, Mrs. Albright's unclaimed check still on the desk inside. Her night's wages gone, and now her job too. As her ride pulled away from the glittering mansion, Chloe caught a glimpse of Alex watching from an upstairs window, a solitary figure framed by light. For a moment, their eyes met across the distance, two people drowning in different ways before the car turned the corner and broke the connection. Have you ever felt like life throws you a curveball just when you think you're getting by? Share your experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're finding Chloe's story compelling, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful narratives. 3 days later, Chloe stood waist-deep in chlorinated water at the bustling community center pool, guiding a nervous 8-year-old boy through his first swimming strokes. It was nothing like the Vance Infinity Edge masterpiece, but it served its purpose. That's it, Miguel. Arms like a windmill, small kicks, she encouraged, as the boy doggy-paddled across the width of the pool. When he reached the edge, his face lit up with triumph. I did it, Miss Chloe. You sure did, she smiled, high-fiving his wet hand. Next week we'll try without the floaties. As the children filed out, Chloe noticed a familiar silhouette in the shadows by the entrance. Broad shoulders, a cane. Her stomach tightened. After class, she approached him cautiously. "Mr. Vance, this is unexpected." Alex stepped forward, dressed more casually than at the gala, but still projecting wealth in his tailored shirt and expensive watch. "Please call me Alex. I wanted to thank you properly for saving my life." "You already sent flowers," Chloe replied, gesturing to the exit. "I need to lock up." He followed her to the office, the rubber tip of his cane squeaking against the tile. "You're good with those kids, the same way you were good in the water the other night. Teaching swimming pays better than drowning from it," she said, stuffing her lesson plans into a worn backpack. "I heard you lost your catering job because of me." Chloe paused. "News travels fast." "My mother mentioned it," Alex admitted. "She has a way of knowing things. Like my address to send the flowers?" Chloe challenged, a hint of steel in her voice. Alex had the grace to look embarrassed. "I may have done some research. Most people call that stalking. Most people don't dive into pools to save strangers," he countered, his gaze unwavering. "Especially former Olympic qualifiers." Chloe zipped her bag with unnecessary force. Former being the operative word that stung more than it should. "Why did you quit?" he asked. "Why did you track me down?" she deflected. Alex shifted his weight, adjusting his grip on the cane. "I have a job offer." Chloe laughed sharply. "Let me guess. Lifeguard at your pool parties?" "Personal assistant," he corrected, his lips curving into a faint, almost shy smile. "My last one quit 2 weeks ago. I need someone organized, discreet, and who won't treat me like I'm made of glass." "And you think that's me because you didn't hesitate before jumping in that night," he said simply. Everyone else froze, worried about saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. "You just acted." Chloe walked past him, locking the office door. "I don't have any experience as an assistant. You managed to keep 3 children from drowning simultaneously while teaching a 4th to float. I think you can handle my schedule." Outside, in the coastal city humidity, Chloe squinted up at him. "Your mother won't approve." "My mother doesn't approve of most things I do," Alex smiled, the first genuine smile Chloe had seen from him. It transformed his face, reaching his eyes in a way that made something flutter unexpectedly in her chest. "The salary is competitive," he continued, handing her a folder. "Plus housing if you want it. The guest house is sitting empty." Chloe opened the folder, her eyes widening at the figure. It was more than triple what she made between her 3 current jobs. "Why me?" she asked, suspicion creeping back. "There must be hundreds of qualified people who'd want this position." Alex's expression sobered. "Since my accident, people either pity me or they want something from me. You didn't do either. That's rare in my world." Before Chloe could respond, her phone buzzed. Lily's face appeared on the screen. "I need to take this," she said, stepping away. "Lily, everything okay?" "They're raising tuition again," her sister's voice cracked. "I don't know how we're going to." "We'll figure it out," Chloe assured her, turning her back to Alex. "I might have a new job opportunity." After the call, she found Alex waiting patiently, watching a group of teenagers playing basketball on the adjacent court. "Family emergency?" he asked. "My sister's in college," Chloe explained reluctantly. "Scholarships cover most of it, but it's still expensive," Alex finished, a quiet understanding in his voice. Chloe studied the job offer again, weighing her limited options against the profound impact this offer could have on her sister's future. "I have conditions." "Name them." "I keep teaching my Tuesday and Thursday classes here. They're important to me." Alex nodded. "Reasonable. And I'm not living in your guest house. I need separation between work and life." "The offer stands if you change your mind," he said. "The commute from your apartment in the city will be challenging." Chloe narrowed her eyes. "Exactly how much research did you do?" "Enough to know you're working too hard for too little," he replied unapologetically, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "The job is yours if you want it, but I need someone who can start immediately. 2 days later, Chloe stood in Alex's sprawling home office as he meticulously outlined her duties. The mansion, less intimidating in daylight, revealed its opulence in every polished surface. Calendar management, email correspondence, travel arrangements when necessary, Alex listed, his voice steady. I have physical therapy 3 times a week, board meetings on Mondays, and development team check-ins on Wednesdays. Chloe took notes on the sleek tablet he'd provided, absorbing the rapid-fire information. Questions so far? He asked. Just one. Where were you going that night? Alex blinked, caught off guard. What night? At the party. You left your guests and went to the pool alone. His expression clouded, a flicker of something raw crossing his face. Sometimes I need space to breathe. Ironic, considering what happened. The chime of the doorbell interrupted them. Moments later, Mrs. Albright swept into the office without knocking, freezing when she saw Chloe. What is she doing here? She demanded, looking between them. Mother, you remember Chloe Miller? Alex said calmly. My new personal assistant. Mrs. Albright's perfect composure slipped for just a moment. You can't be serious. Completely serious, Alex countered. Chloe starts today. May I speak with you privately? Mrs. Albright's voice could have frozen the coastal air. Chloe excused herself but lingered within earshot in the hallway. Of all the qualified candidates, you choose the waitress who made a spectacle at our event? Mrs. Albright hissed. She saved my life, Mother. And how convenient that a former Olympic swimmer happened to be serving cocktails just when you fell in, Mrs. Albright retorted. Have you considered this might not be coincidental? What exactly are you suggesting? People target wealth, Alex. You've been vulnerable since the accident. I'm disabled, not naive. Alex cut her off. Chloe took the job because she needs the money, not because she's plotting something. Chloe retreated to the kitchen, where she found an older woman preparing lunch. You must be the new assistant, the woman said kindly. I'm Rosa, the housekeeper. Don't mind Mrs. Albright. She's been overprotective since the accident. What happened? Chloe asked. If I'm going to work here, I should know. Rosa glanced toward the office. Racing his boat 3 years ago. He was always doing something dangerous before, climbing mountains, diving with sharks. The doctor said he was lucky to keep his legs at all. Before Rosa could continue, Chloe's phone buzzed with a text. An unknown number. Ms. Miller, Jackson Barnes here. Mrs. Albright's attorney. I'd like to meet regarding your employment contract. Coffee tomorrow? Chloe showed the message to Rosa, who rolled her eyes. Mrs. Albright's watchdog. Be careful what you say to him. When Chloe returned to the office, Mrs. Albright was gone, and Alex looked drained. Everything okay? Chloe asked. Let's get something straight, Alex said, his voice flat. I hired you because you're qualified. Not because I need saving. Not because I feel indebted. Is that clear? Crystal, Chloe replied, her voice equally firm. And I took this job for the money. Not because I find you fascinating or pitiful. Professional boundaries maintained. A hint of that genuine smile returned to Alex's face. Good. Then let's get to work. That evening, as Chloe rode the bus home to her small apartment, she received another text, this time from Alex. Sorry about my mother. She means well. Chloe stared at the message, unsure how to respond to her boss's personal text. Finally, she typed, Everyone has baggage. Some just have designer labels. His reply came immediately. Guess I deserved that. See you tomorrow, Chloe. She put her phone away, watching the city lights blur outside the window. 1 month, she decided. She'd give this strange new job 1 month, save every penny, then reevaluate. No matter how intriguing Alex Vance might be, he was still her employer, still from a different world, and some worlds weren't meant to collide. Your form is terrible, Chloe said, leaning against the doorframe of Alex's home gym. 2 months into her job as his personal assistant, she'd grown comfortable enough to speak her mind. Perhaps too comfortable, judging by the look Alex shot her from his weight bench. Most people knock, he grunted, completing another rep with the arm weights. Most people don't ignore 3 calls from their physical therapist, Chloe countered, checking items off her tablet. Dr. Petrov says you missed your appointment again. Alex set down the weights and reached for a towel. I've been doing my exercises here. Incorrectly, Chloe pointed out. You're compensating with your right side. Are you a physical therapist now too? He asked, though there was no real bite to his words. Chloe crossed the room, assessing the unused equipment lining the walls, much of it specialized for adaptive exercise. No, but I spent years training with Olympic coaches who were obsessive about proper form. She picked up the resistance band he'd discarded. May I? After a moment's hesitation, Alex nodded. The problem is you're thinking about your limitations instead of your strengths, Chloe explained, demonstrating the proper position. Your core is still powerful. Lead with that. Reluctantly, Alex tried again, following her guidance. When he completed the exercise with better alignment, surprise flickered across his face. Not bad for an amateur coach, he conceded.
Multitalented, clereplied de y.
Now about those calls. I'll call Dr. Petrov back, Alex promised. What else is on the agenda today? Board meeting at 2. Development team sent the prototype designs for review, and Chloe paused. Your mother's coming for dinner. Alex groaned. Reschedule her. She's your mother, not a dental appointment. Sometimes I prefer the drill, he muttered, reaching for his cane. Chloe had learned to hide her smile at these moments. Alex's flashes of humor were rare, but revealing. Beneath the wealthy tech entrepreneur facade was a man still finding his way back to himself. Later that afternoon, Chloe was organizing Alex's office when she found the blueprints. Detailed designs for an indoor rehabilitation pool with adaptive features. Snooping on company time? Alex's voice startled her. Filing, she corrected. These are impressive. Alex moved beside her, close enough that she could smell his subtle cologne. A new project. Therapeutic pools for rehabilitation centers. Inspired by personal experience? Chloe asked carefully. I haven't been in a pool since. He trailed off. Since I pulled you out of one? Chloe finished. Their eyes met, and something electric passed between them before Alex looked away. Water was always my element before the accident. Now it feels like another thing I've lost. Chloe rolled up the blueprints. It doesn't have to be. Easy for you to say, Olympic. The jab stung more than it should have. Almost was. Chloe shot back, her voice tightening. At least I'm not hiding in my mansion feeling sorry for myself. Alex's expression hardened. You don't know anything about my life. I know you have resources most people would kill for, and you're wasting them, Chloe countered. You design equipment to help others but won't use it yourself. That's enough, Ms. Miller. The formal address signaled she'd crossed a line. Chloe retreated, her professional mask back in place. Your mother arrives at 7. That evening, Chloe was preparing to leave when Mrs. Albright arrived, impeccably dressed as always. She acknowledged Chloe with a cool nod, progress from the open hostility of earlier weeks. Working late again, Ms. Miller? Just finishing up, Chloe replied, gathering her things. My son seems quite dependent on you these days. Before Chloe could respond, Alex appeared. She's doing the job I pay her for, Mother. Mrs. Albright kissed her son's cheek. I'm simply making conversation, darling. Chloe seized the opportunity to escape. Good night, Mr. Vance. Mrs. Albright. Outside, the coastal evening was heavy with humidity as Chloe waited for her rideshare. The guesthouse lights were on. The caretaker used it now, making her wonder briefly if she'd made the right decision refusing to live on site. Her phone buzzed with a text from Lily. Surprise. Home this weekend. Can't wait to see your fancy new workplace. Chloe smiled, her first genuine one all day. Whatever complications her job brought, it allowed her sister to focus on education rather than finances. A gift Chloe hadn't had herself. As Chloe navigates these complex waters, What sacrifices do you think are truly worth it for the ones we love? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this unfolding drama, please like and subscribe for more updates. The weekend arrived with Lily's energetic presence filling Chloe's small apartment. At 20, Lily was everything Chloe had fought to protect. Bright, hopeful, unburdened by the tragedies that had shaped her older sister. So when do I get to meet your millionaire boss? Lily teased over breakfast. You don't, Chloe replied. And he's technically a billionaire. Even better. Is he cute? The internet thinks so. Chloe nearly choked on her coffee. He's my employer, Lil. Who you've mentioned in every call for 2 months. Lily pointed out, a mischievous glint in her eyes. The lady doth protest too much. The lady protests exactly enough, Chloe countered, though a blush crept up her neck. My personal and professional lives stay separate. Lily's expression turned serious. Are you happy? You stopped swimming. Took all these jobs for me and never. I'm fine, Chloe interrupted, her voice a little too sharp. The pay is good. The work is interesting. But are you swimming again? You always loved it. Chloe shook her head. That part of my life is over. Before Lily could press further, Chloe's phone rang, Alex's ringtone. She hesitated before answering. It's Saturday, Mr. Vance. I need your help. His voice sounded strained. At the house. It's important, Chloe sighed, already grabbing her purse. I'll be there in an hour. Lily raised an eyebrow as Chloe hung up. Separate lives, huh? You're coming with me? Chloe decided suddenly. You wanted to see where I work. Here's your chance. When they arrived at the mansion, Chloe was surprised to find Alex in swim shorts and a t-shirt, waiting by the indoor pool she'd never seen him use. You must be Lily, he greeted her sister warmly. Chloe talks about you constantly, whereas she barely mentions you, Lily replied mischievously, earning a sharp look from Chloe. Alex turned to Chloe, uncharacteristically nervous. I want to try, in the water, but not with the physical therapist or anyone else watching. Chloe understood immediately. Lily, could you give us a minute? Once they were alone, Alex gestured to the pool. After our argument, and you were right, I've been hiding, designing solutions for others while avoiding my own recovery. Chloe softened. You didn't have to prove anything to me. Maybe I needed to prove something to myself, he admitted, a vulnerable honesty in his eyes. Will you help me? Chloe hesitated, memories of her competitive days washing over her. The discipline, the sacrifice, the abrupt, painful end. I haven't coached adults before. I'm a quick study, Alex said with a hint of his old confidence. Chloe kicked off her shoes. First rule. In the water, I'm in charge, not the billionaire boss. Yes, coach, he replied, the ghost of a smile playing on his lips. The session wasn't easy. Alex's mobility limitations made traditional strokes challenging, and his frustration mounted with each failed attempt. But Chloe was patient, adapting techniques she'd learned with her young students. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't, she repeated, supporting him as he floated on his back. Water doesn't care about your limitations. It responds to your intent. By the end of the hour, Alex had managed half the pool length using a modified stroke that played to his upper body strength. Not bad for a guy who nearly drowned 2 months ago, Chloe commended as he rested at the edge. I had a good teacher, he replied, catching his breath. Their eyes met over the water's edge, a moment of genuine connection, free from their usual professional boundaries. The moment broke when Lily returned, clapping enthusiastically. That was awesome. Chloe used to be amazing in the water. You should see her butterfly stroke. Lily, Chloe warned. What, it's true. She was headed for Olympics before. Lily stopped herself, suddenly remembering the unspoken rule. Sorry. Alex looked between them curiously. Before what? Ancient history, Chloe said firmly. Lily, we should go. But Alex wasn't ready to let it go. Have dinner with us, he suggested. Both of you. Consider it payment for today's lesson. Against her better judgment, Chloe agreed. The evening turned unexpectedly pleasant, with Alex charming Lily with stories of tech mishaps, and Chloe relaxing enough to share tales from her swimming competitions. "Why did you really quit?" Alex asked later, when Lily had stepped away to take a call. Chloe traced the rim of her water glass. "Life happened. That's not an answer." She met his gaze steadily. "Not all of us have the luxury of pursuing dreams when reality hits." Before he could respond, Lily returned, her expression troubled. That was the financial aid office. There's an issue with my scholarship renewal." The evening ended with Chloe distracted, already calculating which bills could wait and what extra shifts she might pick up. Do you think Chloe should accept Alex's help? Or is her pride justified? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. For more stories that explore the delicate balance between pride and survival, make sure to like and subscribe. Later that night, Alex found her working in his home office, inputting data long after Lily had been sent home in a rideshare. "Go home, Chloe," he said gently. "Whatever it is can wait until Monday." "I'm behind on filing," she lied, quickly switching screens. Alex moved closer, his cane tapping against the hardwood. "Is Lily's scholarship really in trouble?" Chloe stiffened. "That's personal. I could help." "No." She cut him off sharply. "I don't want your charity." "It wouldn't be charity," Alex insisted. "A loan then, or I could create a scholarship through the foundation." "Stop." Chloe stood, putting distance between them. "I appreciate today, the swimming, dinner, but I'm still your employee. There have to be boundaries." Alex studied her, frustration evident. "You have no problem helping me, but won't accept help yourself. That's pride, Chloe." "Or professionalism," she countered. "It's not professionalism," he said, stepping closer. "It's..." As she gathered her things to leave, Alex called after her. "For what it's worth, Lily was right. You are amazing in the water. You shouldn't have stopped, whatever the reason." Chloe paused at the door. "Some things can't be fixed with money or good intentions, Alex. But some things can," he replied quietly. "If you'd let them." That night, Chloe returned to find Lily asleep on the couch. She covered her sister with a blanket, then slipped out to the apartment complex's small, deserted pool. After checking no one was around, she slid into the water. For the first time in years, Chloe performed her old routine, the butterfly stroke that had once been her signature. Each powerful movement released something she'd kept locked away, a piece of herself returning with every lap. What she didn't see was Alex's driver parked across the street, or the photos being taken at Mrs. Albright's request, evidence for whatever case she was building against the woman who'd captured her son's attention. "You can't avoid the company party forever," Alex said, glancing up from his laptop as Chloe placed his afternoon coffee on the desk. 3 weeks had passed since their impromptu swimming session. Though Alex had continued with water therapy, expanding their professional relationship to include weekly pool sessions, Chloe had been careful to maintain stricter boundaries in other areas. "I'm not avoiding anything," she replied. "I'm managing your schedule, which includes making sure you're prepared for next week's board presentation." "The same presentation I've reviewed 4 times, Alex countered, raising an eyebrow. "Come on, Chloe, the party celebrates our new adaptive technology line. The entire team will be there, including those who worked remotely. Don't you want to meet them?" Chloe busied herself organizing the papers on his desk. "I'm your assistant, not part of the development team. You've contributed valuable insights. I made a few suggestions about the pool design which we implemented," Alex countered. "Look, I'm not asking you to attend as my assistant. Come as my guest." Chloe stilled, finally meeting his eyes. "That would be inappropriate." "Why? Because I'm your boss? Or because you're still keeping me at arm's length?" The question hung between them, loaded with weeks of unspoken tension. Before Chloe could respond, her phone buzzed with an incoming call. "It's Jackson Barnes," she said, frowning at the screen. "Your mother's lawyer. What does he want with you?" Alex asked, suddenly alert. Chloe declined the call. "He checks in periodically, making sure I'm not embezzling from you, probably." "That's absurd." That's your mother, Chloe replied, a hint of steel in her voice. Speaking of whom, she's requested a lunch meeting with you tomorrow. Alex groaned. Can't you tell her I'm busy revolutionizing the world or something? I'm good, but not that good, Chloe smirked. Besides, you've canceled on her twice already. Fine, Alex conceded. But only if you agree to attend the party. Chloe narrowed her eyes. Are you blackmailing me? I prefer to call it incentivizing. He grinned. One social obligation for another. Against her better judgment, Chloe found herself smiling back. Fine, but I'm not wearing a uniform or serving drinks. I was thinking more along the lines of that blue dress you wore to the charity lunch last month, Alex said casually, returning to his laptop. Chloe blinked in surprise. You noticed what I was wearing? Alex's eyes remained on his screen, but a slight flush colored his neck. I notice a lot of things, Chloe. The following evening, Chloe stood in front of her bathroom mirror, applying the finishing touches to her makeup. The blue dress, the only formal outfit she owned, suddenly felt significant in a way it hadn't before. You look gorgeous, Lily said from the doorway. Your billionaire boss won't know what hit him. He's not my. Chloe began automatically. Yeah, Lily waved dismissively. Keep telling yourself that while you try on lipstick for the third time. Chloe capped the lipstick with more force than necessary. It's a professional event. With an open bar and dancing, Lily pointed out, scrolling through the invitation on Chloe's phone. Sounds like a date to me. It's not a date, Chloe insisted. And shouldn't you be studying for finals? Shouldn't you be admitting you have feelings for your boss? Lily countered. Before Chloe could formulate a suitably dismissive response, the buzzer rang, announcing her rideshare. Don't wait up, she told Lily, grabbing her clutch. Wouldn't dream of it, Lily called after her. Take your time falling in love. The party was already in full swing when Chloe arrived at the downtown venue. Ascent Innovations had rented out the top floor of the coastal city's most exclusive hotel, complete with panoramic views of the ocean and city skyline. Chloe felt a flutter of nerves as she entered, suddenly aware of how little she belonged in this world of tech innovators and wealthy investors. She was searching for a familiar face when Coach Davies appeared at her side. Chloe Miller, the former coach exclaimed. I wondered if I'd see you here. You disappeared after Alex's charity event. I've been busy, Chloe replied carefully. Working for Vance now, I hear. Coach Davies studied her with knowing eyes. Quite a change from competitive swimming. Life takes unexpected turns. Indeed it does, Coach Davies agreed. I still can't believe you walked away from the national team. After your times, you were a sure thing for the Olympic trials. Chloe shifted uncomfortably. That was a long time ago. 3 years isn't so long, Coach Davies persisted. Not when you had the kind of talent you did. Chloe. Alex's voice cut through the crowd, and Chloe had never been so grateful for an interruption. He made his way toward them, moving smoothly with a sleek carbon fiber cane, one of his company's designs, recently substituted for his bulkier crutches. You made it, he said warmly, his eyes taking in her appearance with obvious appreciation. As promised, Chloe replied, suddenly conscious of Coach Davies watching their interaction with interest. I need to steal her, Alex told Coach Davies apologetically. Board members to impress. As he guided her through the crowd, Chloe murmured, Thank you for the rescue. That's becoming our thing, isn't it? Alex replied with a smile. Taking turns, saving each other. The remark hit closer to home than Chloe cared to admit. Over the past months, their professional relationship had evolved into something more complex. Him helping her navigate the corporate world, her helping him reconnect with physical activities he'd abandoned. You look beautiful, by the way, Alex added, his voice lower. Blue suits you. Chloe felt warmth spread across her cheeks. You clean up pretty well yourself. Alex introduced her to various team members, investors, and partners, his hand occasionally resting lightly on the small of her back as they moved through the room. Each touch sent a current of awareness through her body. Everyone seems impressed with the new adaptive sports line, Chloe observed as they paused by the bar. They should be, Alex replied. It's revolutionary, making water therapy accessible to rehabilitation centers at half the current cost. You sound proud. I am, he admitted. For the first time since the accident, I feel like I'm building something meaningful. Their eyes met, and Chloe felt something shift between them, a recognition of how far they'd both come in the months since she'd pulled him from the water. Dance with me, Alex said suddenly as the music changed to a slower tempo. Chloe hesitated. Can you? Another thing I'm relearning, he said, offering his hand. With the right partner. On the dance floor, Alex moved with surprising grace, the cane temporarily set aside. Chloe followed his lead, their bodies finding a natural rhythm together. I never thanked you properly, Alex said, his voice close to her ear. For what? For pushing me back into the water? For not seeing me as broken? Chloe looked up at him, suddenly acutely aware of his hand at her waist, the scent of his cologne, the warmth in his eyes. You were never broken, Alex. Just afraid. And you? He asked softly. What are you afraid of, Chloe? Before she could answer, Mrs. Albright materialized beside them, Jackson Barnes in tow. Alex, darling. Mrs. Albright interrupted with practiced elegance. The senator was asking for you. Chloe stepped back, the spell broken. I should check on the presentation setup. Chloe, wait. Alex began, but Mrs. Albright placed a restraining hand on his arm. Business first, dear. You know how these things work. With a reluctant nod to Chloe, Alex allowed himself to be led away, leaving her with Jackson. Ms. Miller, the lawyer greeted her with professional courtesy. You've become quite indispensable to Alex, I hear. I'm good at my job, Chloe replied neutrally. Indeed. Though I wonder, does your job description include private swimming lessons? Jackson's tone remained pleasant, but his implication was clear. Chloe felt a chill. Mr. Vance's rehabilitation is part of his daily schedule, which I manage. Of course, Jackson nodded. Mrs. Albright is simply concerned about conflicts of interest. There's no conflict, Chloe stated firmly. Now, if you'll excuse me. She retreated to the ladies' room, needing a moment to collect herself. Whatever had been building between her and Alex tonight, Mrs. Albright's appearance had effectively doused it with cold reality. They came from different worlds, and Mrs. Albright was determined to keep it that way. Do you think Chloe and Alex can overcome these powerful external forces? What would you do in Chloe's position? Share your thoughts below. If you're drawn into the emotional currents of the story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for the next part. When Chloe emerged, she found Alex waiting. You disappeared, he said, concern evident in his expression. Your mother has impeccable timing, Chloe replied, trying for lightness and failing. Alex sighed. She means well. Does she? Because her lawyer seems to be keeping tabs on me. What did Jackson say to you? Alex demanded, his expression darkening. Nothing direct. Just insinuations about our professional relationship. Alex ran a hand through his hair in frustration. I'll talk to her. Don't, Chloe said quickly. That will only make it worse. Before Alex could respond, the event coordinator appeared, gesturing that it was time for his speech. With a conflicted look at Chloe, he squeezed her hand and moved toward the stage. Chloe watched from the back as Alex addressed the crowd with charisma and passion, announcing the launch of their new adaptive aquatic therapy line. When he acknowledged a special advisor whose insights were invaluable, his eyes found hers in the crowd. Pride swelled in Chloe's chest, along with something deeper and more dangerous. As the crowd applauded, Mrs. Albright materialized at Chloe's side. He's quite taken with you, she observed coolly. We work well together, Chloe replied, keeping her expression neutral. I'm sure. Mrs. Albright studied her manicured nails. Though I wonder if he'd feel the same way if he knew the whole truth. Chloe's blood ran cold. What are you talking about? Come now, Ms. Miller. Did you think I wouldn't investigate the woman spending so much time with my son? Mrs. Albright's smile was razor-sharp. The swimming career that ended abruptly after a tragic accident. Parents killed by a drunk driver after your national qualifier celebration. Chloe felt the room tilt slightly. That's personal information. It becomes Alex's business when the drunk driver was Mr. Vance Sr. The name hit Chloe like a physical blow. What? My late husband, Mrs. Albright continued, her voice low and controlled. Alex's father. The man whose company paid for your parents' funeral and your sister's education through a very private settlement. Memories flooded back. Lawyers, paperwork. A devastated 18-year-old Chloe signing documents she barely understood while planning 2 funerals. I never knew the driver's name, Chloe whispered, pieces falling horrifically into place. The lawyers handled everything. Mr. Vance Sr. died 6 months later, heart attack. Mrs. Albright continued ruthlessly. He never forgave himself. Neither did Alex, who idolized his father until discovering his fatal mistake. Chloe struggled to process this revelation. I didn't know. I never sought out Alex. Perhaps not consciously. Mrs. Albright cut her off. But here you are nonetheless, working your way into his life, his company. You think I planned this? That I'm what? Taking revenge? I think coincidences are rarely coincidental, Mrs. Albright replied, her gaze piercing. And I think it would destroy Alex to learn his father killed the parents of the woman he's falling in love with. The word struck Chloe like another blow. Love. Was that what had been growing between them? He deserves to know the truth, Chloe said finally. Does he? When he's finally moving forward? Mrs. Albright's expression softened marginally. Walk away now, cleanly, and spare him that pain. As Mrs. Albright glided away, Chloe stood frozen, the celebration continuing around her in a blur of noise and light. Across the room, Alex caught her eye and smiled, beginning to make his way toward her. Without conscious thought, Chloe turned and fled, pushing through the crowd toward the exit, tears blurring her vision. Outside in the humid coastal night, she gasped for air, Mrs. Albright's revelations playing on repeat in her mind. The nameless, faceless drunk driver who had destroyed her family, her dreams, her future, was Alex's father. Her phone buzzed repeatedly with Alex's calls, but Chloe couldn't bring herself to answer. Instead, she texted Lily, coming home early, don't ask questions. As her rideshare pulled away from the glittering hotel, Chloe caught a glimpse of Alex emerging onto the sidewalk, searching the crowd for her, confusion and concern written across his face. For the second time in her life, Chloe Miller watched her world collapse around her. And for the second time, she had no choice but to swim against the current, away from everything she'd begun to hope for. You've ignored 16 calls and 23 texts, Lily observed, leaning against Chloe's bedroom doorframe. Must have been some party. 3 days had passed since Chloe's abrupt departure from the Ascent Innovations event. 3 days of calling in sick, of refusing to explain to Alex or Lily what had happened, of lying in bed staring at the ceiling while her mind replayed Mrs. Albright's devastating revelation on an endless loop. I'm not ignoring them, Chloe mumbled. I'm processing. In your pajamas. For 72 hours. Lily crossed the room and yanked open the curtains, flooding the space with morning sunlight. Whatever happened, this isn't you, Chloe. You don't hide. You fight. Chloe squinted against the light. Not this time. Why not? What could possibly be so bad that? Alex's father killed our parents, Chloe blurted out. The words a raw, painful gasp. Lily froze, her expression shifting from confusion to disbelief, then utter horror. What? Mr. Vance Sr.? The drunk driver that night after your qualifier? That's why his widow recognized my name, why she's been suspicious of me from day one. Chloe sat up, running a hand through her tangled hair. They paid the settlement, our parents' funeral, your college fund. Lily sank onto the edge of the bed, her face pale. How did you find out? Mrs. Albright told me. At the party. And Alex, does he know? Chloe shook her head. According to his mother, he knows his father was responsible for a fatal accident, but not who the victims were.